Another fallacy is the false dilemma. This is a fallacy that occurs when the speaker presents an audience with only two options and argues that the audience must choose one option or the other, that there are no other options available. And the false dilemma, or the either-or fallacy, the black and white fallacy, this one has a lot of different names, but the false dilemma fallacy oversimplifies really complex issues. The world usually can't be simplified into black and white, good and bad, right and wrong. And usually there are more than just two options. One example of a false dilemma type argument is when someone argues that immigrants in the US should learn English or go back to their own country. This is a false dilemma because there are more options than just learning English or returning to their home country. There are many immigrant families that live successfully in the United States knowing hardly any English. And so there are way more than just those two options. And the false dilemma is a fallacy because it is trying to force people into a decision. It's removing any sort of gray area that may exist in the context of the total arguments. It's taking the logic out of the situation. So if we are facing a false dilemma, we are usually faced with only two options. And if the speaker that you are encountering is only offering you two options, ask yourself, are there more than just those two options? Another great example of the false dilemma is actually the democratic system in which we live in the United States. When you look at our political system, we are often presented with two options. You can either vote for the Democrat or you can vote for the Republican. There's no other options, right? Wrong. There are a lot of third-party candidates that run every single election cycle. They just don't get the same kind of coverage that the Democrat and Republican get in the news media. We have independent candidates, we have peace and freedom candidates, Green Party, Libertarian. There are so many other options besides those two. But if you were just to watch the news, you would only ever see the Democrat and the Republican. It's an oversimplified version of the situation.